The Vancouver Canucks enjoyed one of their greatest runs in franchise history after the 2004-05 lockout, winning 6 Northwest Division titles, 2 President's Trophies and reaching the 2011 Stanley Cup Final. And if it weren't for Alexandre Burrows, the undrafted product and International Ball Hockey Hall of Famer, the Canucks wouldn't have reached all that success. The native of Pincourt, K. joined the Canucks for the 2005-06 season and quickly moved up the ranks to become one of their top scorers. More from the Canuck way. Burrows, now 37, announced his retirement on Friday. In 913 career games, he scored 205 goals and 409 points. A trade to the Ottawa Senators at last year's deadline didn't wind up leading to a Stanley Cup, unfortunately, but Burrows gave it his all and kept on playing until he knew it was time to hang up the skates. Burrows won't wind up in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but he'll easily go down as one of the greatest Canucks in recent memory. He scored some of the biggest goals in franchise history, which cemented his legacy as one of the team's all-time clutch performers. As a tribute to Burrows' storied career in Vancouver, we take a look back at his most memorable goals in a Canuck uniform. The Canucks were on an 8-game losing streak during the 2008-09 season, looking no different than the 2007-08 team that completely crumbled in the final months, missing out on the playoffs as a result. Vancouver was on the penalty kill in their February 3, 2009 home game against the Hurricanes. Burrows turned their season around with this goal. Vancouver would roll from then on out, winning the Atlantic Division and reaching the second round of the playoffs, where the Chicago Blackhawks would oust them in 6 games. But Burrows' goal saved the season and helped Vancouver avoid a miserable meltdown in the second half. Tribute to Luke Borden. Luke Borden was drafted 10th overall by the Canucks in the 2005 entry draft, and he had superstar written all over him. Tragically, Borden died in a motorcycle accident at the age of 21 on May 29, 2008. Burrows was close friends with Borden, and his untimely death completely shook the organization. Following an emotional tribute to Borden for the team's 2008-09 season opener, Burrows tuned in a gutsy performance for his friend. And when Burrows scored in overtime of Game 4 to sweep the street Louis Blues in the opening round of the 2009 playoffs, he gave one more tribute to Borden. The Vancouver Canucks and Detroit Red Wings were the top 2 teams in the Western Conference heading into March for the 2011-12 season. Detroit had won 23 consecutive home games, which was an NHL record. Vancouver visited Detroit on February 23, 2012, looking to put an end to the streak. Well, Daniel Sedin scored in the final seconds to force overtime. Roberto Luongo turned aside all 3 shots in the shootout, and Burrows got to play hero. Canucks fans would, ideally, love to forget the whole 2011 Stanley Cup Final. It's easily the most heartbreaking defeat in the history of the franchise, but we can't forget how exciting and surreal it was whenever Vancouver scored a goal. There was a time when the fans could taste the Stanley Cup. And that happened in Game 2, when Burrows quickly scored in overtime to put the Canucks up 2-0. It's the greatest goal in Vancouver Canucks history. The Canucks won their very first President's Trophy in 2010-11, but they had to face the Chicago Blackhawks in the opening round of the postseason. The Blackhawks dispatched Vancouver in the second round of the 2010-11 postseasons. They were bigger, faster and stronger. Vancouver won the first 3 games of their 2011 series, but Chicago managed to win the next 3. Game 7 required overtime, and Burrows was up for the challenge. Without that goal, the Canucks just might lose to Chicago in the playoffs for a 3rd straight year. They never reached the finals, and who knows what form of disaster would have brewed in the city. Thankfully, Burrows saved the Canucks from embarrassment, and he continued the journey of their epic 2010-11 season.